Good morning, everyone. I wanted to show y'all this bra. It is from Victoria's Secret, and if you have big boobs or you have it is so nice. It's hard for me to find bras that I feel like are comfortable, cute. Usually bras for larger size breasts are ugly. They're black, white, or beige. And this one is purple. It's got like a lace detail here. It's got some lace detailing here. And it is so comfortable. So I wanted to show y'all that. It's so nice. I actually got one recently in like a Tiffany blue color too. I haven't worn it yet, but so cute. So anyway, I am going to start off with I'm gonna go ahead and do my hair and let it sit for a little bit, and then I'll come back and do my makeup. So yesterday was cool. I got to go out with some colleagues and get to know some people, which, if you know me, is a little uncomfortable for me sometimes. So I'm trying to step outside my comfort zone and make it happen, but I'm not always great at it. All right, so I have my handy dandy shark, and it's got all my hair stuck in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'll probably turn y'all off on the sound just because this does get loud. I don't know how the Dyson is, but this one is actually kind of loud. So yeah.
I still remember the feeling. I wanna dance till I can't no more. All of this time I've been dreaming on the dance floor. I still remember the feeling. I wanna dance till I can't no more. All of this time I've been dreaming on the dance floor. Tell me you still remember. One day we'll be together. It's you and me forever. Dreaming on the dance floor.
Time to start getting ready. My hair's been sitting for a little bit, and yeah. So I'm gonna start by, I'll brush my teeth, and then we can chat. No talking while brushing teeth.
I still remember the feeling. I wanna dance till I can't no more. All of this time I've been dreaming on the dance floor. I still remember the feeling. I wanna dance till I can't no more. All of this time I've been dreaming on the dance floor. Tell me you still.
All right. I gotta take my meds. Done. So, the conference that I'm at right now is for oncology nurses, and I'm gonna be learning everything about radiation. So my specialty is oncology. I know if you listen to my podcast, you know that yes, I'm a nurse, I'm a nursing leader. I work in oncology still. I worked in a lot of things, but oncology is my passion. It's my background. what I have the most experience in. And radiation oncology is actually my specialty. So this is my first conference that's geared toward like my actual nursing specialty. I've been to a lot of conferences for like leadership and magnet and things like that, and those are great. But I've never been to anything that actually focuses directly on my specific specialty. So I am so excited about this conference because I cannot wait to hear people talk about like stuff in my field that I can relate to or implement or, you know, anything like that. So I'm just super excited to have that opportunity. And yeah, so, and I think it's really cool because, you know, there's people here presenting. So I would love to be able to present one year here. I have presented a poster before at another conference for leadership. And it was great, but I would love to do like a podium presentation, be able to talk to everybody, share stuff that I've learned in my career or in my clinic or, you know, anything like that that can positively affect our oncology community. Because I think that it's been difficult, I think, for our oncology community, especially in today's, you know, political climate and everything else. There's a lot of things that they need, but there's really nobody to advocate for them. And so that's what we really are trying to focus on, is how can we get legislators and everybody out there who has the ability to truly make the change, help us make the change. We watch patients struggle. Just, you know, I was talking to some of the other nurses last night, and it was so interesting because they all talk about how like they have the same problem. So it's not just, you know, isolated, it's everywhere. And they're all talking about how, you know, they went to the Capitol here, I think it was 5 years ago. They had a day when they all got to go to the Capitol and talk about stuff that patients needed. And, you know, the bills were widely accepted and all of that. And they said it still hasn't been put in to legislation yet. And it's just like crazy because they're like, that was 5 years ago. Like, why are our patients, especially in oncology, having to wait like this and having to, you know, suffer? And so it's just been a little bit disheartening, I think, for a lot of them, talking about the fact that, like, you know, people need this, and our rational brain says, like, why is it so hard to do that? Why is it so hard to just give people what they need? Well, because it's about money, right? And about politics and all of those sorts of things. So it makes it a little tricky, but I'm excited. There's a group of individuals that were invited to actually go to the Capitol today, this morning. And they are there representing all oncology nurses on our behalf to help advocate. So I think it is awesome. And hopefully we will see some change in the future happen. They're supposed to be meeting with, sorry, that was loud, our legislators from our areas. You know, we're all over Houston, and so some of them had some appointments to meet with some of the legislators from our specific districts. So we are excited to get an update on that. But I am thankful to have the opportunity to come and do this because, again, I've never done it before with with oncology. And so I can't wait to see all the stuff that I learn and then I get to take back and hopefully, you know, positively impact my patients and my team members. So I'm excited. But so I have a couple sessions today. I have to go do check-ins first, and then I have a couple sessions this afternoon. And yeah. So I'm trying to vlog throughout this. We'll see how it goes. But I'm also trying in general to like step outside my comfort zone, because those of you who follow me and know me know that, you know, I also want to have a platform to be able to advocate, and I want to be able to grow my own brand, and I'm very lucky that I have been connected with people who are willing to help me and who want to see me succeed, and who inspire me to keep trying to do what I do, and who keep trying to inspire me to step outside my comfort zone, because it's not easy for me to do. And I think that it is key that you have people around you who will support you and encourage you and know what you're capable of and know your worth. And so I think when you don't have those people around you, because I lived like that for many, many years, where I didn't have that support. I had people in my life, and this was, you know, before I was married, but I had people in my life who only focused on the negative. They focused on, you know, how I could always be better than what I was, because I was told constantly that I was not good enough. And it is insane to me, you know, in those moments, I thought I was the only person having those issues. And I think in the back of our mind, we all know that we're not the only people going through that. However, when you're in the midst of it, struggling, it's easy to think like, okay, nobody else has to deal with this, right? Nobody else has to deal with somebody who thinks or tells you all the time that you're not good enough, and that you're not doing enough, and that, you know, whatever. And so it's easy to get stuck in this rut of why me? And I'm getting to a point in my life, and I don't think it's age. You know, people always say, oh, well, because of my age, this is what I'm doing. I don't think that, honestly, mine is because of my age. I think it's because of the support and the encouragement that I have around me, from colleagues, from friends, from mentors, supporters, my husband, everything else, who are willing to say, you know what, you have value, and what you want to do is valuable and will change a life for somebody at some point. Even if I don't ever see that happen, it's still, they feel like I have a message and I have something to offer. So I am very grateful, and I just dumped that everywhere. And thankful that, again, you know, and some of these are new friends that I've recently met who are truly interested in my success and growth. And that's hard to find. Like, you don't find people who truly care about you and who want you to succeed. You know, life is so competitive, and it doesn't matter what profession you're in. I don't even think it matters what gender you are. I will say that women tend to be way more critical, I think, of each other instead of building each other up, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, I've talked about that before on my podcast, with the fact that in nursing, it is very much, you know, the saying was always, nurses eat their young. And, you know, we learned that in nursing school. I learned it in nursing directly. I talked about that and how that mentality and behavior shaped my path in nursing, because I was directly affected by that and bullied by a leader as a new grad. And it's awful to me, but I will tell you what, it really set me on the path that I'm on now, to advocate and encourage others to support each other. And I mean, nurses in their profession should support each other anyway, because when you think about it, like, only nurses know what nurses go through, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that the general public doesn't understand, but like, if anybody can understand, like, you know, when I used to come home and like talk to my husband about whatever went on in my day, it's like, sometimes they don't, like, your significant other, your spouse, your whoever you want to talk to and share your day with, like, they don't understand because they haven't been there and gone through that. And so I think sometimes people think like, oh, nursing's not that hard. You know, you just go in, you give meds, you change people. No, it's like, it is a constant mental game, you know. There's the mental and emotional aspect. There's things that you know about, you see about, you hear from people in their lives that you know, can't share, right? It really is almost like you're a lawyer. You know, attorney-client privilege. It's like a nurse-client privilege. Like, we can't share stuff unless the patient says that we're allowed to share stuff and who we're allowed to share it to. And so oftentimes you find yourself like holding on to some of their stories or their struggles or whatever that looks like for them. And you know, then you've got to come home and, you know, maybe you and a coworker that day didn't agree on how, like, okay, this is going on with the patient. How should we treat them? What should we do? Like, you know, should we ask the doctor for this medication? Should we recommend this? Like, you know, what do we want? And again, like, sometimes those days are so exhausting and overwhelming and everything else. And like, your person that you go home and talk to doesn't understand that unless that's what they do for a living. So it sometimes is difficult to find those people, and you just need somebody to talk to a lot of times and like run things by and say, hey, like, this is what I'm struggling with today. Like, I just want to talk about it. And it's great to have somebody be like, you know what, I totally know what you're going through. So I don't understand, like, the moral of all of that is the fact that, like, I don't understand why nurses do not support each other. We should be building each other up, encouraging each other, reminding each other that we're in this together, and not spending our time cutting each other down. So that's one of the ways that I try to lead as well, is that, you know, number one, yes, I'm a leader. Yes, I have my doctorate. No, that means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like, when it comes to patient care and when it comes to being a nurse, we're all nurses. I'm not any better because I have a doctorate than somebody who has a bachelor's. Like, it doesn't matter, we're all nurses. And so to me, that's the important thing, is like, you know, again, I've always told my staff, you know, or my team, that when I'm in the clinic helping take care of patients, because again, I'm still a nurse, right? So if patient care is needed, like, I'm a nurse, I need to go take care of patients. And so, but I always introduce myself, or have my team introduce me as one of the nurses in the clinic. So I don't like them to go in and say, oh, hey, this is our manager. I'm like, no. I want everybody who comes here and receives care from us to know that, like, I'm a nurse just like you are. Like, my title doesn't have anything to do with anything unless it has to, if that makes sense. So if I have to be known as the manager because I have something that I have to deal with, then that's one thing. But otherwise, I'm just the manager. I mean, I'm just a nurse, just like you, just like me. Like, we're nurses. And so the other part of that is that I don't want my team to think that I'm any different than they are. Because every single one of us is valuable as a nurse in the exact same way. And so, wow, that smells good. Sorry, totally caught off guard. Didn't realize that smelled. It smells amazing. But, so I think it's important to empower your team members, to empower your profession, to empower, whatever you do, wherever you work, whether it's your passion or not, I recommend that if it's not your passion, either find something else, or if that's the only spot that you can be in right now because you're still working on getting to where you want to be, then make it the best that you can while you're in it. So my very first job was at HEB when I was 15 years old. Now, I was born and raised in the HEB family. No, they're not my actual family, but I grew up in church with the family, and so they did a lot for me. Them and the owner of Cisco Foods were the people that paid for me to go to church camp, paid for me to go on mission trips, paid for me to go on church retreats. And so without them, I would not have been able to participate in things because I just didn't grow up in a space where my parents had that extra money. And that's fine. My parents did the absolute best they could with what they had. And and I 100% appreciate that. I think, but I went to HEB every single day. I was a bagger. Those of you that have seen my TikTok know this because I am so picky about the way people bag my shit. Besides the fact that the way it should be bagged only makes sense. Don't get me started on that. Anyway, I am who I am, okay? I'm very OCD about that. So, but was that my dream job? No, that's I was trying to go to school because at the time I wanted to be a lawyer. So I'm trying to go get my prereqs and get that done at community college. But you know what? Even though it wasn't my dream job, I went there every day and gave it 100%. Every day. Well, you have some days where you're like, screw this, I'm irritated or whatever. But I'm just saying, you can still make the best of your situation with what it is right now, knowing that you're focusing on doing something else, because you can learn something. What if the position that you're in right now is to connect with or meet somebody that's going to help you grow, develop, succeed in the future? And you're going into your space every day with a negative perspective and a negative attitude, and you're going to miss that opportunity to potentially connect with somebody or connect with a situation that could change your life for the positive forever. And so this is one of the reasons that I have really tried hard to be more positive about networking and networking events. I am very shy and introverted. I am extroverted with people that I know and people that I am comfortable with. If I don't know you, I'm very shy. I will stand in a corner. I will not talk to anybody. It's just who I am. Again, I think because of the traumas in my life that I probably still have not healed from. I would like to tell myself that I have healed from them, but probably haven't. And so I have tried to find the positive in going and networking, because with me deciding last minute all the time that oh, you know what? I'm not going to do this today because I'm too tired. I don't want to do it. Not interested, whatever the case is. I could be missing out on the opportunity that has been put before me to meet or connect with somebody who I'm supposed to connect with, so that way I can grow and develop in my career. And so, or just in my life, period. I have a lot of goals. I have a lot of dreams for myself, for my family in the future. And so I think it's been a struggle, but I would encourage you Is this how I'm supposed to use this? I don't even know. I guess. I would encourage you to take whatever working situation you're in right now, find the positive, be the best that you can with what you're doing right now, and focus on when could I be given an opportunity to grow. You never know. You never ever know. And I think that it's so important. Like I would encourage you, because I've been through those moments in my life where I was angry with my situation and I went to work every day pissed off and mad, and the only person that affects is you. And if you're talking to other people, well, you're going to make a lasting impression on them that's negative. And again, you could have totally missed out on an opportunity. So this probably sounds like mumbo jumbo, but I really want to encourage people because somebody took the time to encourage me and help me realize my value and what I have to offer. And so I'm trying to treat every connection that I make, or every opportunity to make a connection, as the one opportunity that could be changing my life forever. So just a little food for thought. And everybody stop being mean to each other. You know, I was chatting with a friend yesterday about the fact that, you know, why is it that people on social media have this idea that because they sit behind a screen and you can't see them, that they can critique you or talk trash about you or just say negative things? It's like, you know, if you don't like the content that's being put out, scroll past, keep going. Don't click the like, but you don't have to click the comment button either. It's not like, if whatever's coming out of your mouth is not sending somebody encouragement or positive vibes, or I think it's even fine, like if you want to give them a recommendation, like, hey, have you ever thought of doing this? Or have you ever thought of maybe showing this or whatever? That's totally fine. But if you're going to go on something and tell somebody that, like, hey, you know what, you're fat, you need to exercise, you need to get, you know, liposuction, Botox, your content sucks, you know, anything like that, like, I personally don't care. But there's other people out there that you have no idea what that could do to them. And I am really just over these internet bullies. Like, get a life. And honestly, if people want to do that, your content made enough of an impression on them for them to stop what they were doing and take the time to make such a comment. So, I don't understand that mentality though. So that's all I'm saying, is I don't get why people feel the need to speak negatively to other people. If you don't like their stuff, just don't worry about it. Keep moving. But I feel like it should be the same way in your professional life. You're not going to like every single person you work with. You are not going to like every person that you come in contact with. You're just not. And that's okay. But professionally, you're going to have to find a way to just figure it out, put on your big girl panties or your big boy underwear, and deal with it. It's okay for you to have a professional relationship and not be best friends with everybody. So know that, learn how to adjust, and be kind. Think about how you would want somebody to treat you if you knew that they didn't like you. Same thing, right? You would be like, look, we don't have to be besties, but you can still treat me with respect and, you know, kindness. So that's my TIFF Talks for today. Because goodness knows, like, there are tons of people in this world that will be happy to tell you that they do not mix with me. I don't know what it is. It's been that way since I was a kid. You can ask my mom. I had teachers who despised me and made my life a living hell. And even when my mom went to the school to talk to them about it, the teachers admitted to them that they didn't like me. And my mom had to tell the teacher, put on your big girl panties and figure it out, because you're a teacher and you're not going to like every child that you come in contact with. And that's not a me problem, that's a you problem. But if I catch you screwing with my child again, I'm coming for you. So that's where I get that mama bear in me from, because again, I am my mama's daughter, and she did that with me for life. My cheerleading coach was the same way. I quit cheerleading one year in the middle of practice at the gym on Saturday because my cheerleading coach, who I pray she found Jesus. I think she was a church woman, is a church woman, whatever, but she was a witch from hell, I will tell you what. She made sure that I knew every single day how unworthy I was to be a cheerleader on her team, because I was not skinny. I was not attractive. All of the things that she had to say. And, you know, the other cheerleaders treated me that way too. So, and, you know, part of it started because I've always had big boobs my entire life. And the uniforms that they already had, you know, your uniforms get passed down every year. They get saved and reused by the new cheerleaders. And they had to make new uniforms because the ones that they already had didn't fit me. And so the coach got mad because she had to pay to get new uniforms made. And then also they knew that, like, once I was done cheerleading, they were never going to use those uniforms again because the top was so large on the other one. It's just a whole big thing. But anyway, so it all started with that, with things that like were completely outside my control, and the fact that I didn't have any money. All the girls that cheered with me had a lot of money. They lived in gorgeous houses. You know, a lot of them, their parents, their moms were stay-at-home moms, and they had all the best stuff. I didn't grow up like that. I didn't have all of those things. And she just made sure that I was humiliated at every opportunity. So one day there was like a big situation because we had practice every Saturday at a local gym. And we would go and practice like tumbling and stunts and all that stuff. And one day we just kind of had it out, and I was like, you know what, that's it. And my mom was like, you know what, that's it. And then I remember because we had a game that night and I didn't show up for the bus. And so she was calling our house asking where I was. And my mom was like, she quit. And the coach was like flabbergasted. I guess she thought I was just throwing a temper tantrum or something like that, and I would come back, because I swear to you, she thought that she was God's gift in my life. Like, how would I not want to be in her presence? Because, you know, she was the reason my name was even spoken, essentially. And I couldn't deal with the bullying anymore. My mom couldn't deal with the bullying from her anymore because she bullied my mom too. And my mom went to tell anybody who would listen. And, you know, coach got fired. And then I got to watch all the time where people were like, oh my gosh, she got fired. What happened? What happened? Don't know. Well, now you know. My mama done had enough, and she knew the right people. But here's the thing, is that I have struggled my entire life with people's view of me, what I should look like, how much money I should have, what I should be doing, including my ex, because I told y'all I was engaged before I met my husband, to a very controlling human being. And again, I have a podcast on that. Wait, this goes on my face, right? Whew. Kind of smells like hairspray. I thought, oh shit, I'm spraying this all over my face and it goes in my hair. So where I'm getting at is that I have spent my life scared to try things, to do things, to be different and unaccepted because of those people. And I'm here to say that because of the incredible people that have taken an interest in my journey and supported me, I'm now here to say that I don't care anymore. I'm not gonna hide anymore. I'm not gonna be worried about what other people are thinking. I may have an unpopular opinion about something, and y'all, that's okay. We can all have different opinions. Like, sorry, there's something going on in DC. And I have already seen so many Secret Service people. It is nuts. I'm walking the streets and I see these vans that you can tell, you're like, and they're just parked. And the stuff that's in them and everything else. And they have like, oh shit balls. They have like, oh, Walter White's dry cleaning on the outside. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just not used to that because we don't have that in the H-Town. But anyway, so that's where I'm going with that, is that I don't care anymore. If people don't want to support me, that's fine. If I'm not your cup of tea, that's fine. But I'm gonna do my darndest to make sure that the people who are around me know that I value and support them. And I'm gonna be their cheerleader with whatever they want to do, however they want to do it. If they want to be a supermodel, I don't care, go for it. Tell me how to support you, tell me what to do, I'll be there for you. But I'm gonna do the same. So yes, I want to be a Victoria's Secret supermodel. Just kidding. Although I would love to see more plus size women in the Victoria's Secret repertoire, because twiggy bitches are not realistic all the time. So anyway, so hack with this that I learned on social media, and I'm sorry, the lighting is not phenomenal in this bathroom. It's like yellow, but I learned that when you do stuff like that, you have to let it dry and then take a brush and it'll flake right off. So I gotta wait for it to dry, and then I can just knock it off of there. I have a late evening, so I want to be sure, I don't like having to come back to the room and touch stuff up. I've just never been a touch-up person, and at one point I went and I put together a makeup bag to keep in my purse. I've never in my life used it, so it's just not realistic for me to even care about that. All right, so last I'm gonna put on all my lip stuff. Let me see if I can get this dried off so I can kick it off of there. But anyway, I'm here to say, you do you, boo. And if I can support you, let me know how. I think that we should all be able to be happy. I think there's room in this world for 1 million influencers. See, look at that. Beautiful. Because all of us has something different to offer. And if I'm not your thing, or if like the person that you're watching is not your thing, leave it alone, keep going. It doesn't, like, you don't have to stop and comment. You don't have to like, hey, I'm gonna make this person feel like garbage. Like there's no point. Just leave it alone and keep going. So that's that. Okay. I am going to get my lips on, and then today I'm gonna start using this. I got this mini one at Target, I think. It's an anti-chafe stick. I have a lot of dresses this week that I'm wearing, and I totally forgot my shapewear, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work, because a lot of times in these dresses you can see the underwear outline, and I don't think that people are gonna think that that's hot. So I may have to see if there's like a Target nearby or something. I don't know. Does DC have Target? I hope so. Anyway. I think I told y'all like I had wanted lip injections. And when I went to my dermatologist and told her I wanted lip injections, she told me, hell no. I said, excuse me, what? Like, when do you have somebody who does injections tell you no? But she straight up told me no. She said, your lips are exactly what people pay for when they come in. So she was like, I'm not doing anything to your lips. Not happening. I was like, damn it. And then I told my husband, and he was so thankful. But anyway, so if you guys stuck around this long for my soapbox, I appreciate it. But I just wanted to talk to y'all and share with y'all some of the things that I've learned and some of the things that like I've encouraged myself to do, and how I'm taking opportunities and support that I'm getting to just change things for me. And I'm trying to learn how to keep, I've always been a glass half empty type of person, and I have made a conscious effort to change that into the glass half full. And it is not easy when you've lived your entire life looking at everything in the negative light and negative aspect. And then when you have all of those voices who have been put into your brain, and you're hardwired that way. And so I just want everybody to understand, like, you can make that conscious effort. It's going to take work, and every day you're not going to be successful with it, but trying is the first step. And so I encourage you to do that. And, you know, comment, let me know, does that work for you? Is there some technique that you have? Part of it for me is I take medication now because I suffered my entire life with horrible anxiety, like debilitating anxiety. I also have undiagnosed OCD. But with, I used to have all these rituals and things, and I still, when I get very stressed out, I will do those rituals, and I'm not going to say what they are just because, but, because I don't want to give power to it. Let me put it that way. But I have to make a conscious effort. And so I'm actually on the highest dose of my medication that is given to people with OCD, so that I can try to rewire my thinking and my behaviors, so that way those things don't have a hold on me. And again, at my age, it's hard to actually stop and change the way that your mind works and your brain functions, but you can do it. So again, if you have techniques, if you have things that you do that work for you, I want to know. I want to hear about it. I want to learn. Maybe something will work for me. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed this little tip talks, and I will catch y'all later. I got to go get dressed, and I got to go get checked into my conference so I can go we're an hour ahead here. So I can go get some lunch so I can break my fast, and that's where we're at. So I will see y'all in a little bit. Bye.
still remember the feeling. I wanna dance till I can't no more.